guys, welcome to another live Sunday sesh here with Earthworks Hub. I'm your host Ivan. It is Sunday the 14th of July 2024 and I'll tell you what, it's been a big week. I'm actually back in the studio today. I've been in Brisbane, so if you've been following my posts, you've probably noticed that I've been up in Brisbane for the last week and a half, probably 2 weeks nearly. Yeah, big week. I think I actually have fallen in love with Brisbane. I'll tell you, I've been there a couple of times and just the weather, the way people are seeming a little bit more relaxed. Everyone's outdoors. I suppose the warmer weather, gets you to come outdoors because when it's cold in Melbourne, I know all you want to do is just get out of the cold and go inside somewhere. So I just found in Brisbane, people are outside all the time. All the restaurants are full. You can walk along the park and there's people there at all hours just walking around doing stuff. I don't know, it just seems a little bit more active. So, no, I'm glad to be back home though. I suppose there's nothing like home. Sleeping in your own bed again, just in the comfort of your own house. So, yeah, hotels probably don't do it for me, but glad to be back. And I'm really happy to be doing another episode. Guys, you're going to love this topic. I've got a topic tonight. It's a request from one of our followers as well, one of the listeners. Touring Civil has come up with a good idea to talk about what software or what do we use to try and help manage our small businesses and make our lives a bit easier. So I've got a couple of good things there. I've got a couple of good steps and a couple of things that I do that I can offer. And then I'm going to open it up to you guys as well. So as usual, keep your questions and that for a bit later on. Let me go through the process. I'll talk about the week and you will want to stick around. I've got a fair few things to talk about and we'll get to that topic as well. So a big night ahead of us. Like I said earlier, grab some drinks and get yourself comfortable for the next hour. So yeah, glad to be back at home, back in the studio. The week has been big. I went to Brisbane and if you're wondering why, a lot of my sponsors are actually based in Brisbane. So I went up there to say hello to a few of them. There's a couple of things I had to do while I was there with them, and you'll see some posts coming out, and you'll understand why I went up there. So a couple of the things were, one, I went to go visit Spartan Machinery. So they're a sponsor of mine. I went up to see their Brisbane branch, and then while I was there, I was really keen to review this new 14-ton machine that they've brought in. So Spartan Machinery are a Zoomline dealer. It's a Chinese brand, and they've come into Australia probably only a year ago or so, and they've started selling these Zoomline machines. So I did a couple of little videos with them, and in the past, and then I went up to Brisbane now, and I've done a site visit. So I met everyone in the dealership, had a bit of a chat with them. And then I got to review the 14-ton machine and play around with their scissor lifts and some other things that they sell. So you would have seen a couple of videos coming out now in the last day or so. I've been slowly uploading them and putting them out. And just really excited to be doing stuff with them. Also, while I was there doing that, while I was there and I met all the Zoomline guys, they gave me a couple of gifts at the end. So my son was up there filming with me. And they gave me a couple of gifts and himself. Here's one of them. What do you think of this, guys? How cool is this? Check this out. Look at that. Yeehaw! Yeah, baby. They gave me a cowboy hat with Spartan Machinery on it. I love this thing. I love it. If my wife let me, I would have been wearing this around Brisbane, but I love this thing, man. How cool is that? So thanks to Spartan for that. And then, not only did we get that, they gave me a whole bag of stuff. So let me have a look. I'll show you what they gave me. So they gave me, whoops, I've got it upside down here. So they gave me a model excavator, which I can add to my collection up here. So that's going to go up in the background. And I'll be doing an unboxing of that in the very near future. So thanks to Spartan for that little model. What else? Let me have a look here, man. They gave me a whole bunch of stuff. I haven't even had a proper look. So they gave me a Spartan Machinery t-shirt. There you go. A Zoomline t-shirt. So that's the brand that they sell. What else? Let's have a look. Ooh, got a Zoomline pen. There you go. Actually, there's a couple of pens in there. Then they also gave this. Well, they say they gave it to my son, but actually I think I'm going to end up doing this. They gave me some Lego. So there's a Chinese version of Lego. So you've got a dozer here, which I'm looking forward to unboxing as well. And that'll go up in the background. And then they gave us a concrete truck. So there you go, guys. So Zoomline does more than just excavators now. They're massive. They apparently do concrete pumps and trucks and cranes and all sorts of stuff. So they're massive around China and the rest of the world. So thank you to Spartan for having me there for a couple of days. It was good to catch up with everyone there. And some more bigger things coming. So yeah, look out, guys, for the review on the 14-ton machine, which is coming out very, very shortly. And while I'm talking about sponsors, just quickly, I've got to say a big thank you to my current sponsors, which are the Bole Group, Nexgen Landscape, and Earthworks, Godings, as you can see here, Spartan Machinery, Melbourne Tractors, also known as Breeze Vegas and other parts, and Ballarat Tractors, JR Safety Co., Network Finance. So, yeah, it was actually good going up to Brisbane. I also had a bit of a catch-up with Robbie Moore from Network Finance. So we had a bit of a chat about things. If you do need finance, make sure you hit up Robbie. Just if you don't have his details, go to Network Finance and look up Robbie Moore. If not, send me a message and you'll be able to, I'll guide you in the right direction. So, or you can even go, if you want, go to one of my podcasts and all the information for Robbie will be on that podcast. So I actually had a good chat with him. Make sure you go and see it. While I was there visiting my sponsors, I did manage to get out for lunch with Breeze Vegas. So thank you to Kane and Marco and the rest of the team there. We got out for a bit of a lunch and had a bit of a good catch up. Really, really good bunch of blokes. Good to meet a couple of other guys on there. I don't know if you guys know some of these guys, but Stewie's got a few machines up there. Hoff, I met the Shamrock boys from Shamrock Civil, some of the guys from Aptella and a few other places. So it was really good to catch up with all these guys, and I got to know a couple of new guys while I was there. So really, really good, hospitable people. Thank you for your hospitality. Like I said, man, Brisbane just, I don't know, everyone just seems to be a little bit more relaxed, easygoing, and not as fast-paced as we are here in Melbourne. So it was good to meet those guys. And then on top of that, I went to visit Digger. So after my interview with Anth from Digger, so everyone knows Digger, obviously, they make all the augers and stuff. Yeah, so after that episode, he invited me to come up and do a tour at their factory. So, yeah, I managed to get myself a tour at the factory. You've probably seen the video came out. I think I put it up yesterday. So if you haven't, go to my YouTube channel and watch that video. I'll tell you what, it was very, very interesting to see how they make all the augers. And not just the augers, they make smudge bars there and they make all the Kanga. They actually put all the Kanga little machines together on site. I didn't even know that Digger actually makes everything here. So they're all Australian made. It was really, really awesome to see all their robots, all their machines that do all the cutting and welding. They're very, very efficient. It's actually a full manufacturing facility, and they can make all sorts of products there. And they've been doing it for so many years. So, yeah, if you want to know more, go to my YouTube channel, Earthworks Hub, and have a look for that video. It's just come out. And, yeah, you can see I recorded the whole factory tour, so you can see everything from start to finish. And if you got any more questions, yeah, hit me up and I'll put it through to them. So while I was at Digger, and my son, fortunate to be there as well, got some gifts. So we both got given some gifts, and I'll show you what we got. So at Digger, we got a good little show bag. They gave us a Digger hat. So I gave a bit of a clue to getting that stuff when I did a little video about a machine that was used for anchor drilling. Let's have a look what else is in here. So they've also given us, how's that? A Digger flask. So Digger also make Kanga. So if you are wondering why they've got Kanga on there, they actually manufacture Kanga as well. Oh, look at this. So speaking of Kanga, We got a Kanga beanie. What else? I got a Digger beanie. Hopefully I've opened the right one. My son's going to kill me if I'm going and opening his stuff. What else? What else? Oh, got a Digger stubby holder. Sorry, that's a Digger stubby holder. And then, what is this? Ooh! Upside down again. Everything's upside down. Something else from Digger. Digger Machinery attachments. What is this? Ah, it's a pen. How cool is that? So, we got a Digger pen. Thank you to Ant and the team. A whole bunch of stickers. We got a Digger little badge. So all this stuff, I'm wrapped. It's all going to go up in the background. And then, yeah, I won't get all that, but there's a whole bunch of stickers in there as well for Digger. So, yeah, very, very big thank you to everyone at Digger for allowing us to come through and do a bit of a factory tour. And we were able to show you guys. So, interesting to see. Like I said, make sure you go to my YouTube channel and have a look for that video. And also, you'll see a video coming up with the Spartan Machinery dealership tour and that the review on that 14.4 ton machine. So yeah, massive week, man. And then the other days I spent with my family. Sometimes while I was at work, they went to Movie World, did all those other little things, and then we went around and just walked around Brisbane. It was good. They had a lot of things on. I'll tell you what, they had some French festival, then they had something else, and they had a concert. Teddy Swims was there, I think, and then all this stuff was going on. There's always something happening there. I loved it. All right, so that I'm going to do an unboxing of those things, and then after I've unboxed them, you'll see them all up here in the background, and then I'll add that to the collection. So, what else? So, yeah, where is this? I actually even got to speak to one of the customers from Spartan Machinery. So he gave us a little bit of a spiel on the machine, how he finds them. So you'll see that video coming up shortly too. All right, so Project Spalding. So I'll go on to the project quickly and then I'll go on to the topic. But Project Spalding didn't stop while I was gone. I kept managing that from Brisbane. Man, what a difference. I came and had a quick look at it yesterday and the gates are all up, the front gates, the side fences still have to be done, but the front gates all done. The curbs have just been done in the morning on the car park area. The windows are in. There's only one or two that still have to be finished. All the carpentry is done for the office area. All the rough-ins were done by the plumbers and the sparkies. And what else is there? So now basically we're going to do the insulation and get the plaster going. So that's all happening this week. The crossover was done. And the Sparky also did all the mains boxes and that, so now we can get power to the actual warehouse. So I'll tell you what, yeah, it was good. It was good that these guys that I've got, all the trades, my hat goes off to all these guys. They've been working together, so it's made my life a lot easier. Everyone sort of gets along, and it was good because that one day they all turned up at the same time, so they were helping each other, like answer questions. I didn't have to keep calling me, so thank you to all my trades that are working on that project. Really, really appreciate it. And it's a really good experience for me. So I haven't built a factory before. It's my first one. And just having all these proper and all the correct trades and good blokes as well, really, really helps because they all sort of help me out and give suggestions and that. And I'm happy to have that type of help. So thank you to everyone. So that is a big wrap of the week and my project. I'll tell you what though, it's freezing in Melbourne. Today I was out at Project Spalding again, having a look at some stuff, and I was so cold. I'm not used to this now. Okay, so Touring Civil has put a request in to talk about this topic. So hopefully he's joined us because he's put a request in. So if you are online, show yourself or forever hold your peace. I think it's a good topic. So there's a couple of points that I want to go through. And I'll expand on what I do for those points, and then everyone else is free to join in, yeah? So the topic is what sort of software or apps do we use to help help manage our small businesses? So I'm not talking about big businesses, talking about smaller ones, but they're probably similar anyway in a lot of ways. So what I'll do is I'll go through some of the points that he raised, and then I'll add what I do, and then, like I said, you give your opinions. So the first thing he said was, what do you do to manage your employees, like payroll and timesheets? So in the past, I used to do a lot of things manually. So I'd have a spreadsheet. I'd have all the guys fill in a docket book. So, usually if we worked for agencies, they'd have their own docket books from the agency, from the plant hire. If not, I had my own books made up. So I've still got my old docket books and I still use them actually. But yeah, I have the docket book. So when they fill that in with the hours and all the information on there, that's what I use as their payslip or their timesheet. So the docket book primarily becomes their timesheet. And that's what I was using for timesheets. I went on to Xero after a while because I realized that it was a lot easier to just get Xero and that calculates. And I've said this in another podcast somewhere, but Xero helps calculate all their superannuation. It keeps a log of all their annual leave, sick leave, all that sort of stuff. It's all inbuilt, and long service leave and all that stuff. And it gives them a proper pay slip, and it's easier for my accountant when it's all logged into that one system. So, and then while I'm doing all my invoicing and quotes and everything out of it, it's just like one good package that does everything. So I find Xero works. I don't get any royalties for saying any of this, but I just genuinely think it's a good, easy system to use. So for employees, payroll and timesheets, I usually used to use Xero for all that. And then at the end, it gives you a payment summary. So, at the end of the financial year, you've got to give that to your workers. It does all that for you. So that's the benefit of using Xero as opposed to having a spreadsheet and then having to work it all out yourself. So that's how I manage their timesheets. And other than that, like managing their jobs. So how do you manage or assign jobs? That's also manual at this stage. So I still just use a diary. On my diary, I'll go in and I usually have a date or a page. I'll put down who it is. So I'll say like, it's either Jack or it's John or someone like that. I'll say, so I have the same system, yeah? So I have who it is, what machine they're on, where they're going, the customer, the hours, and then floats or attachments. So that way I've got all that. And I do that for every machine and every person in my diary. And then I follow up on that and then write them in for the rest of the week. And then that way, what I do is I actually cross-check those with their docket books as well. So that's how I do it. That's still very manual. And then what I also do is I use that information from my diary to invoice the customers. So I'll use the diary, cross-checked with the docket book, invoice the customers with that. Once a customer pays me, what I'll do is I'll open that invoice that they've paid and go back to my diary and I'll highlight with a coloured, like either a red or a blue highlighter or yellow. I'll highlight the days that have been paid. You know what I mean? So if I've got one Ivan on a 5-tonner for such and such customer doing 8 hours, I'll check that against the invoice, cross it out, so that I know when I quickly look through my diary, if it's something's not highlighted, that means I haven't been paid for it yet. So I need to follow that up. So it's a good little bit of a cross checker there. So that's in my opinion, that's what I do. The next thing is he asked about assigning or managing machines, and that's the same thing. Yeah, I usually use just the diary, and because I've always got the same types of same machines, I'll just have a list of each machine for each day, and then write who's on what machine, where they're going, and that's how I do it. Also managing the machines, I usually have a spreadsheet set up. So I'll have a spreadsheet set up with each machine. I write down what hours the servicing was done and any other type of maintenance. And then I print a copy of that and put it in like a little document wallet that sits behind the seat of each machine or truck. I started going to this app. I can't remember what it was called now, but there was an app like a free app on the phones. And that was good because you could record the machines and then you could also put in when you want the next service to be done. It will give you a bit of a reminder, but it didn't calculate hours and stuff. So it was a bit confusing. So I just went back to spreadsheets. So it was a lot easier. How do you handle site documentation or, like your site docs? So I'm gathering he's talking about JSAs and SWIMs and all that sort of stuff, plans. What I do is, as I said earlier, I'll keep a folder. So I'll have all my JSAs, all my SWIMs, work instructions and whatever else all in a folder. And then depending on the job, I'll take it to that job with me. We'll have a copy in each worker's ute. So everyone's got a copy of all those documents. And a lot of times we used to just sign on to the customer's JSAs and the customer's SWIMs and that. So, Usually we just sign on to all theirs. It wasn't often that I had to have my own. And then he also said, what about, like risk assessments and things? So the way I do it is I get my risk assessments done. And now recently we've switched to JR Safety Co. So if you do need, they're another sponsor. If you do need to have any risk assessments done, someone like JR Safety Co, they'll keep an eye on it and they'll give you a reminder before it's due. So you're supposed to do them every year. These guys will give you a friendly reminder before it's due and then organise to come down and do it for you. But I know a lot of sites need certain documentation on your trucks and machines. So what I do is I have a document wallet, and then that document wallet will contain the risk assessment, a printed copy of the motor vehicle insurance, a printed copy of the public liability insurance. It will have the owner's manual in it because some sites want that. The risk assessment, like I said, and then maintenance history. So I usually print out the history of each machine on the spreadsheet that I use and just put that in that wallet. And then that wallet usually sits behind the seat in the machines or in the truck in the glove box or something. And that's the basic way that I manage my documentation. Yeah. So it just makes life a lot easier when it's all there. And then some of the options, and something I discovered during Diesel, Dirt and Turf is there's a company called the Fleet Office. So the Fleet Office have little modules that you can purchase. So you can just buy a module where you just have, managing your machines, and you can buy the next module, which is managing your workers. Another one's managing your fleet. And there's all sorts of stuff you can add to it. So you can buy more and more packages. I haven't looked into it that much, but somebody did say once on here that they do use the Fleet Office. If you do, give us some feedback on that, and so other people can see. But I haven't used that package. But yeah, I came across it at Diesel, Dirt and Turf, and it seemed like something interesting. So that is how I handle my all my documents and all my payroll and stuff like that. So hopefully that helped everybody that's got a small business, or even if you've got a large one, you probably do use Xero still. And recently, because I've reduced or downsized and don't have any staff anymore, I've actually cut down my Xero package to the basic one. So yeah, as you get more and more employees, you have to actually upgrade your package, so they charge you a bit more per month. So I've actually downgraded again now, so I'm back to their basic package. So yeah, that's a good example of what I do. So that's enough about me. Does anyone want to add something to that topic? And if not, we can start going through some of your questions. So I can see here Big Dog has joined us. Big Dog is still on. I did see your message about doing a podcast together. Yes, I do still want to get to do that. I was hoping to do it while I was up in Brisbane, but time just flew, man. It went really, really quick. So we will have to do one. We might have to just do it online, like some of my other ones. But I will be in touch with you about that. So I'm just going to scroll back here and look at some of these questions. Here we go. Little Bear Earthworks is asking, hey brother, how do you use an external mic? I've been trying to get my Instagram live to work through headphones, but it always goes back to speaker. I don't know. Depending if it's an iPhone, it should just automatically plug in and start working. Sometimes when I plug my mic in, I'll get this automatic message that comes up and says, are you using headphones or other device? I always click other device and then it starts using the mic. So maybe don't click headphones. If it asks you that question, don't click on don't say yes you are using headphones. Just say no, using other device, and it'll turn on the mic. So that's what I'm thinking. Here we go. So we got Petard is asking, hey, do you have any Bobcat die-cast models? No Bobcat ones, but now you can see I've got a new Zoomline one, so that's going to go up. Most of them are Cabelco, and then a couple of other no-name brand ones. They're just some yellow ones, but I don't have any. But if you can get me some, I'll be happy to have them. So who else is there? So Big Dog, hopefully you heard me just say that we will do a podcast very, very soon. I just have to do it probably online now, as I've done with some of the other guys, because the trip to Brisbane just went quick as, man. So yeah, Petard, if you can get me a Bobcat diecast model, I'll be more than happy to put it up in the background. What else? So I'll just have a quick scroll through some of my notes here while you guys are thinking. So if anyone's got anything you'd like to add, let me know. Yeah, I'll tell you what, man, it's been a very, very busy week. So, and there's a lot more coming. There's a lot more stuff happening. So I will be announcing a few big things in the very, very near future. There you go. It's a bit of a teaser for you. But there will be some big things being announced. Big things. All right. What else? What would you like me to talk about, guys? Any certain topics? Does anyone want to give comments about something? Did you see all my posts? While you're thinking about questions, we had some more listings. So for those of you that don't know, earthworkshub.com.au is more than just a website where it highlights my podcasts and my product reviews and YouTube channel, but it also is an online business directory. So I made that so that everyone can add their businesses to that list, and then we can all use your services. So if you have an Earthworks business, and it doesn't have to be just Earthworks, it can be any type of construction, go to earthworkshub.com.au, add your business there, and then people can find you and use you for your services. On the other hand, if you do need some machinery or any Earthworks business or even a construction business, go on there and find people that you need and use them. So that way it's all in one spot. That's the whole point of Earthworks Hub, everything in one hub. I've got a question here from Sydney Rockwall Constructions. Here we go. So Sydney Rockwall is asking, plant assessor is it? Oh, sorry, he's not asking. He's giving an opinion. Plant assessor is another one for risk assessment, and stuff also has an app that you can use to do daily pre-starts. Oh, there you go. So plant assessor. So you're saying that's another good app to use to make your life easier. And that's the other thing. Yeah, doing a daily pre-start. On my docket books, I usually have a pre-start. Actually, I might have one here. Here we go. Now, let me see if I've got a white page. Oh, here we go. So there you go. There's an example of my docket book. So that's what I have. So basically just the business name, all the times, start, finish times, any attachments, start, finish times, any attachments, and then your daily pre-start down the bottom. So, and then all the customers sign. So it's very, very similar to what most of the plant hire companies have. So I find that this old docket book technique still works. A lot of the plant hire agencies now have gone and started using apps, which is good. It's good to have that. But these are, I suppose, you can't beat the old paper method. Pretty reliable, and you can always go back to them. But most people are going towards apps now. So there are other apps that you can use for pre-starts. If you just search up usually pre-start app or something in your app store, it'll find something. So here we go. Blesso's Earthworks. Hey mate, sorry, just joining. What brand book is that? Ooh, so this is, I just got this from one of the local guys. And Sydney Rockwell saying nothing beats the old school way. So this is a local guy that I used. I'm hoping he's still around. I'm trying to see what his name is. I think they were called FM Printing and Graphics. So they were in like East Keilor in Victoria. I think it's FM Graphics in East Keilor, Victoria. And he just did a whole bunch for me, and then just put random docket numbers on there. And they've lasted me for ages. I've had heaps of those books, and they've been pretty good. So yeah, you're right. Nothing beats the old traditional books, because you can have them there, give them to all the guys. But it is changing slowly. Yeah, most people are starting to go to apps now, especially all the plant hire companies, and you can actually even get the customers to sign on your phones and do stuff. So it might be the way of the future, but for now, the books, you can't beat the old books. So yeah, I think it's FM Printing. I can have a look for you anyway, Sydney Rockwall. Blessos. I can have a look and confirm if you like. But there's a few people around that do those sort of books now. What else? So, who else? Oh, Brent has joined. Thanks for joining, Brent. So we got Blessos on here, Ground Level Media. We've got a fair few people. DD Excavations, JPG Excavations. Hello. The Judge was here. Oh, the Judge. Hello. Who else is on here? Let's have a look. All right, we've got Tristan 777, Declan. We have Petard. He seems to be gone. All right, so a fair few people on here. The big dog Ado is on at the moment. Thanks for joining. Tanty Works, Master Crete. Oh, we've got all these people on. Very good, guys. Yeah, bless those. Yeah, so that's the book. I can give you another look at it if you want. Oh, someone's asking a question. Hang on, I'll give you another look so you can you can see that. So that is the book I use. So you can copy a couple of things off that if you want. Oh, Tristan, you're asking me a question. I like that question, actually. All right. I look like a crazy guy. I've got the book up above my head. Tristan says, hey, mate, what would you rather if you had a choice? A Komatsu PC 138 or a Case CX 145? So this is Tristan on TikTok. He's asking that question. That is a very good one. I have very limited use of a PC 138, so I'm going to be a little bit biased because I have sat in a CX 145 or the Case a lot more. I love the CX 145. I think from the 14-ton range, that would be one of my picks. The Cabalco SK 135 is really good. That's what I used to have one of those. So in that size machine, I would say out of the Komatsu and the Case, I would say the CX 145. Only because I've had a lot more time in one and I can appreciate how good it is. So that's what I would say there. Yeah, I would definitely say the Case out of those two. But I have sat in the PC 138 and yeah, to be honest, it wasn't too bad, but it wasn't as quick as the 145 as the Case. So the Komatsu did feel a little bit slower, but it was also smooth in that, yeah. So, but yeah, I'm a bit biased because I have sat more in a CX 145, well, a lot more, and really, really enjoyed sitting in that machine. Godings has joined as well. Thanks for joining, Godings. Hopefully you can see represent here. Yeah, so yeah, I would say the Case is probably my choice out of those two. What do you think? Have you got an opinion on that, Tristan? What's your opinion, man? Godings, nice vest. They've noticed. That's it. So you got to represent the sponsors. Yeah, so out of those two machines, Tristan, I would say the Case. And like I said, it's only because I've used one more often. What else? But it'd be very interesting to see how this. I know these two 14s that you're talking about are zero swing, but I just did a review on a 14-tonner from Spartan Machinery, and although it's not zero swing, it's a nice machine as well. It would be interesting to sit in one. I didn't actually get to use the Spartan Machinery machine because it was inside, but I did start it up and just sort of look at all the features. I'd love to get out and actually see how it works to give a proper opinion on it. But yeah, there you go. We've got a few people on. So Godings have joined. Thank you as well. Access Earthworks. Blessos is in. So like I always do, I've got the TikTok and the Instagram phones going at once. So sorry if I'm not looking directly into a camera at a certain time. And sorry if I don't see some of your messages because I'm skipping between phones. While people are still coming up with questions, I will say make sure that you are following me on all my socials. So go to YouTube, Spotify, Instagram, TikTok. What else is there? Facebook. So make sure you've joined us on the Facebook group. And that is a good platform where we can help each other as well. Yeah. So I say this a lot, but that is a platform where we can, ask questions, help each other. If someone's stuck on something, make sure you go to Earthworks Hub, the group, and ask the question. And everyone respectfully should help you out. So the group has grown. It's over 250 members now. It's good to see everyone on there. Here we go. Brighton Thomas is in. Hello. So Tristan 777, who asked the question about the 14-tonners earlier, has said, I've been in the Cabalco 135. It was all right, but I reckon you're right with the Case. Yeah. There you go. So there, I think, yeah, we've got the same opinions there. The 135 was really good. What I found with my 135 is I had a tilting hitch on there, so that may have affected the weight of the arm and that a little bit and the length of the arm. So it did maybe slow it down a little bit. But it was still a good machine overall. Very, very good machine. But the case, I don't know, even with an offset arm and a tilting hitch, the case just seemed to perform very, very well either way. So Brighton, thanks for joining. And Tristan, thanks for your question. We've got Marchin. Hello, Marchin. Thanks for joining as well. Good to see you on here. Yeah, so we've got a question here from Pat Yaxley. Which accounting software are you using? About to go out on my own with a 3.5 tonner or 3.5 ton combo gears. I'm hearing good and bad about Zero. You've come on about 5 minutes too late. I just went through that a second ago, but I'll do a quick rerun. So I use Zero personally, and I was saying that, look, I don't get royalties or anything for it, but I think it's a really, really good package. I started with the basic package with Zero, which just gives you invoicing and quoting. And then as I discovered it does a whole lot more with payroll and that, I went up to the next level and put my employees on there and used it for all the payroll functions as well. And I love it. I use it for all my reconciling all my receipts, reconciling all my bank. My bank's actually connected to it, and it does a lot of that stuff for me automatically. And it's just a matter of matching invoices with what's coming out of your bank. Matching receipts with what's coming out of your bank. And you can even get the guys to put their own times in. So you can get your operators to fill in timesheets on Zero. So you give them special access. And then Zero will upload the timesheet to their pay slip and make a pay slip out of it. So, yeah, I find Zero works really well. And then that's for the accounting side and payroll. But there's another company called the Fleet Office, which I mentioned a bit earlier. I discovered them at Diesel Dirt and Turf. I haven't used them, but I've heard some good opinions on them. And they can manage your fleet. So that's more like fleet related stuff with your machines and your gear. So. But yeah, if you want this episode, what have you just missed, Pat? I always put these live sessions up on my YouTube channel and on Spotify. So make sure that you go back. Give me a couple of days to upload this, and then go back and you can listen to the episode again, and you can hear what I said earlier. But yeah, I answered a lot of that stuff just literally like 5-10 minutes ago, man. Oh, and Fleet, yeah. So Pat's saying that his last company had Fleet Office and they were really good. Well, there you go. So that's good to hear. It's good to hear. I haven't used them, but there you go. Brighton Thomas is saying, I don't mind Doosan. It is very stable with a tilt hitch and a full mud bucket. Well, there you go. So yeah, Doosan. I haven't used a Doosan. Might be something I have to do. And Sydney Rockwell is saying that he uses MyOb, which is Mind Your Own Business, and that was really good as well. So MyOb is the other option. So one of my first accountants was a real big fan of MyOb, and the more recent accountant is a real Zero fan. And the good thing about Zero is your accountant can log in from their end. You don't have to be physically together. They can just log in and they can look at all your stuff, and they can do all your BAS statements and everything all through Zero. So that's the other thing. Zero can do all your BAS reports and everything for you. So I find them very handy. Tristan 777 is saying, oh, sorry, I've skipped the question there. Mitchell Anderson, have you been in a Cat 730 Moxie? No, I haven't. I haven't used actually, I don't think I've ever driven a Moxie. I've sat in one as a passenger, but never actually driven a Moxie. Oh no, I have. I have driven one, sorry, but not for a work day. I think I just drove it around site just to give it a bit of a go, but I haven't actually used it for work purposes and sat in it all day. So I can't really give any opinion on that. Tristan 777 says, I always work in a Kubota KX57, but never operated the KX80. What do you think about it? Ooh, Godings is on here. So they might be able to give us a good opinion on that too. The KX057, I sat in one, and I'll tell you what, they're nice and comfy and stable, The KX80 obviously is, I think they're a tad bigger as well, the KX80. So it's a bit bigger, has a bigger reach. I don't know if they're much bigger, but maybe Godings can give us a bit on that if they're still on board. But I felt like the 8-tonner was, the KX80 just had that little bit more reach and was a bit more powerful. Yeah, and Brighton is saying he's used the KX80 as an older one. Just wish it was a bit faster. Yeah, I find the 8-tonners are all like that. I find a lot of 8-tonners are a little bit slower. So I had a Komatsu PC78, and that was really, really slow. So I always thought maybe the pump was faulty, but everyone told me, no, that's just how they are. They're just really slow. So like my 5-tonner left the 8-tonner for dead, you know. But yeah, that is probably dependent on what you want the machine to do. So, but I've sat in another 8-tonner and it was a bit faster. But my Komatsu, yeah, the PC78 was very, very slow. And Tristan is saying, yeah, the Komatsu is a lot slower. GET Australia has joined. Welcome, welcome. If you have any questions, also let us know. Reese Close is saying the Kubota are jumpy when doing more than one movement. Yes, that is very, very true. All my Kubotas, even the U55, they're very like, if you want a final trim and you put your mud bucket out and then start bringing it in slowly, it'll get to a point where it'll just start like jolting. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. It doesn't like doing two things at once. And then you have to learn to control that and know the exact moment when to move the joystick so that you avoid that bounciness. It becomes like an art to try and avoid the bounciness. Yeah, so very, very hard to trim with those. It's taken me years to master that. And that's like, if you see one of the videos I did with the Komatsu PC55 versus the U55, I said that the Komatsu just was that little bit slower, but it made the trimming a lot smoother because it didn't have that joltiness. But my Kubota, like to do a day's work, would smash out work heaps quicker. You know what I mean? My Kubota, I could just smash work out, especially when you work for yourself, when you want to finish something quick. Definitely had that little bit more power, and just I could rip through jobs quicker. So Pat Yaxley saying that he finished up running one for about a year. It had MOBA GPS installed and found it was pretty sluggish, but great cab size. Thank you very much, Pat. What was that for? Which machine was that you had with the MOBA GPS? It'd be good to hear your opinion on MOBA as well. Godings is saying the KX80-3 is now fitted standard with an additional rear counterweight, which provides more stability. There you go. So there's some good news for you guys. Oh, and Pat's saying that he had the KX80, which he found, he said the machine was a bit sluggish, but the cab size was great, yeah. I think that's why a lot of guys get the KX57 over the U55, because of that extra sort of counterweight, and I think the cabin's a little bit bigger. If you're not really fussed about having zero swing, then the 57 is probably a good choice if you want to sit in it all day. But I had to get the U55s and the U48s because I had a tipper and had to run the machines into the back of the tipper as a combo, and a KX57 just wouldn't fit. It'd be very, very tight. It might fit, but it'd be very, very tight. Even the zero swing machines were tight in the trucks. So otherwise, yeah, I would have got a 57 just to make my life a little bit more comfortable. Oh, and yeah, Godings did say, sorry, I'm scrolling up and back, the KX57 is a far bigger cab than the U55. It has like 200mm larger cabin. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so I actually wanted to get a 57 at one stage, but yeah, I just thinking about having to put that into the back of the tipper all the time. The U55 just made more sense, you know. There you go. So yeah, there you go. Good conversation, guys. I like this. And I just missed an answer here. Oh, Brighton Thomas is saying the Cat 308 is really far and very strong. Really far? Maybe he meant fast. Oh, he did say that. The 308 is really fast and very strong digger and he'll take it any day over the KX80. Oh, look, you know, everyone's got their opinions. I've only sat in the Cat 308 for a very, very short time. It was a nice machine to use, I have to admit. It was a very nice machine. But I suppose you know what's going to happen at the end of the day. There's going to be different opinions on different machines, and everyone expects different things out of each machine. So that's good though. And then some machines will have different features, different room in the cab, a whole range of things. There you go. Very, very good conversation, guys. Very, very good. All right, let me just quickly scroll and see if I missed anything. Like I said, I'm running through the TikTok and Instagram apps at the same time, so I'm just multitasking. As I started earlier to say, yeah, make sure you are following me on YouTube. Make sure you're following on Spotify, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. What's this new X I'm hearing about? Everyone's talking about this new X platform or whatever you want to call it. What is this X, if you can tell us? And then we'll get back to that. I'm getting questions again here. So Brian Thomas is saying the newer Kubotas are a lot better than the old KX80. Yeah, I suppose, yeah, as all these manufacturers move up with the times, they're going to be developing and improving machines, yeah? What do you think? Tristan is saying, what do you think about the Case CX75? I haven't used one. To be honest, I haven't used it, so I can't really say anything. I've never actually sat in a CX75. I've sat in a Case 5-tonner and then a Case 14, but nothing in between. So it's going to be very, very hard to give any opinion on that. I don't know. What do you think? Maybe you've got something. What can you say about it, Tristan? Matt Smithy saying a 9800 Liebherr. Oof, that'd be a big machine, wouldn't it? A 9800 Liebherr. Perfect machine. And Coops is saying that's the new name for Twitter. Oh, is X the name for Twitter? Okay. Well, I'm a little bit behind then. Somebody asked me the other day, oh, are you on X as well? And I was like, what the hell is X? There's another thing to be on. I can't be on too many things. Darcy Wilson, do you think the civil work in Victoria will pick back up soon or question? Whew. I just had this conversation with someone the other day in Brisbane asking how it is in Melbourne. I said it's pretty shit at the moment. And not only is it shit and slow, it's wet, cold, so it's not really helping the situation. I think, and I said this in one of the previous podcasts, it's going to be a while before things pick up. Obviously you look around, you see developments aren't really coming up as quick. People aren't buying, blocks of land and stuff. So if people aren't buying, and developers aren't selling, they're not needing civil companies to come and, get their estates up and running. So that means less work for us. And then there's a flow-on effect. So then if people aren't building, there's no residential work for us. So then, that slows things down again. So I don't know. I think it's going to be a bit crap for a bit longer, especially while interest rates are the way they are. I think it's definitely going to keep putting people off from buying. Some of the other states are still going hard. A few weeks ago, we spoke about it, and Adelaide seems to be going hard still. Brisbane, they just tell me, seems to be tapering off a little bit. So the word is that they've got enough work for the moment, but apparently Brisbane's not, like, people aren't winning new projects. They're just sort of finishing off what they've got. And then I think they might be in the same boat as Victoria in the near future. But yeah, all I hear is that Adelaide's still going off. So they've probably got something going for a while. Perth, I don't really know much about. I know houses are still selling like crazy there, but that's more older houses. So there might be a little bit of residential and landscaping and that going on, but I don't know about new civil work. Tristan is saying he works near the Vic border with civil work and it's very slow. Yeah, I would agree. So, and then recently we heard some of the big civil companies have put off a lot of subcontractors. So they've let them go. So that's obviously another sign that their work is slowing down. And my phone hasn't been going off. So I used to get multiple messages from plant hire companies looking for machines, and I hardly get a message anymore nowadays. They're very, very quiet. So, I think it's going to be a tough time for a while, because even if we did start, like if things improve, like interest rates come back down, people start buying blocks, developers start selling and start putting on civil companies to do their work, it's going to be a long time for all that paperwork to go through, and then for the developers to actually sell the blocks, and then once they sell them, and then start putting in civil companies to start working on them, and then the civil companies are going to start using their own machines first, and then calling back some of the subbies that they usually use, and then everybody else after that. It's going to be, like that's a couple of years process. So I reckon it's going to be a while before it gets better. Darcy Wilson, what would you recommend to continue to build your skill set as an operator if the civil side is dead? Whew. Let's see how I answer that. And feel free to answer as well, guys. So what would you recommend to continue to build your skill set as an operator if the civil side is dead? I think you don't have to be just in civil. So it's probably good to get out and try different things. So one, depending on what your skill set and what your tickets are, go and get some more tickets so that you can do other things. So that you can, for instance, jump in a Moxie, you can jump in a dozer, you can jump into a grader or something different. So go and expand your tickets, what your skill set. So get the tickets first while it's quiet. Then also maybe look at getting like your truck license. So I would say get your truck license if you can, and then that way you've also got the option to do other type of truck work. So in case there's no tipper work, you might be able to drive like on the asphalt trucks, or you might be able to even do container trucks or any other type of truck work once you've got your license. So in case it gets really quiet, you can go and do other things. So that would be my opinion. And then maybe work for some landscapers, go and do like retaining walls, doing like landscaping with like, lawns and trees or people's backyards. If you can find that type of work, to keep expanding your skills. And then, then you might jump into a bobcat instead of an excavator, and then get some skills on that. So that's what I would say I'd be doing, looking at getting some extra tickets so that you can get into other type of equipment, and then go and get some experience in that equipment. And also, like I was saying last time, do not be afraid to do something different. If you're, always been working in civil and it's quiet, don't be scared to go and work and help someone that doing scaffolding or safety rails, or, somebody doing something totally different, moving temporary fencing and other jobs. If you have to, go and do it for a bit. Don't be too proud to go and actually continue earning by doing something a little bit different. You're not going to get looked at like, oh, look at this guy, can't even make it in a machine. It doesn't mean that. It just means you got to keep making money regardless of what happens. So don't be afraid to go and try something different. And then when it picks up again, just go back into it. Brighton is saying, what did you think about the Zoomline? I think they're a not bad machine. Obviously, they're only fresh to Australia, but they have been making machines for a while, and they're selling them in other countries already. They do a lot of other equipment, so they do cranes and concrete trucks and pumps and stuff. So they obviously know how they already have a lot of infrastructure in the background. So machine wise, obviously they're still a bit fresh with excavators and skid steers and that, but they've got a lot of stuff that just looks and feels very similar to some of the big brand names. But I don't know about the quality yet, so time will tell. If we start seeing a lot of them cracking and breaking and that, then they've used cheaper stuff. But it's hard to say. That from outside they look good, but yeah, from the inside I'm not sure. But they do use a lot of Japanese parts. So for example, Zoomline use a lot of Kubota engines, Cummins engines. They use Kawasaki pumps, so they do use a lot of Japanese stuff inside. So then really you're just depending on the externals and the frames and all the other stuff surviving and being just as good. So it's hard to say. At the moment, they look like they're okay. I haven't actually sat and used them properly. I did that 7.5 ton review, and that was just a quick play around, but I never actually dug deep down to see what sort of power it has. Does it sound like it's going to break? I haven't had a really good go on one, but there might be some things happening soon. where that will change. That's all I'm saying. Um, Tristan, if you live near farmland, you can clean out dams and make shed pads and roads. Exactly right. And you can, if you live out near farmland or agricultural areas, regional, you can do some other work. That's in response to the other question earlier about what you can do to expand. Do some farmland work. Exactly right. So yeah, hopefully that was good. Yeah, I did not get to dig. Did you get to dig at all? Or digger, you mean? Did you get to dig? No, I didn't actually get to use the machines, no. Because they were all indoors. So we only sat in them and started it, and then that's it. So I haven't actually sat and actually dug anything with a Zoom line machine yet. Okay. What have I done here? No. So, Darcy Wilson, do you think becoming multi-skilled on multiple machines increases your earning potential? Yes, it does. When I'm hiring people, if I have a guy that can, or an operator, I shouldn't say guy, if I have an operator that can use multiple machines, I'm going to pick that person. If they're still a decent person, I'll pick them because they can then I can send them to different jobs. So for instance, if a job where the excavator has broken down and then I'm working on a job on my posi track and I know that operator can use it, then I'll say, all right, you come and jump in my machine, and then they get a full day's work, and then I'll get better value out of that person because I'm paying him regardless, so he might as well be working in another machine, if that makes sense. Or if they're on ABN or casual, they're happy because they're not getting sent home. They're actually continuing and finishing off a whole day. Having multiple skills definitely helps, especially when we do combo work. I used to do heaps of combo work with like posi tracks, excavators, tippers. So when I had someone that can do everything, it was a lot better, and I could give them more work and keep them going longer. So definitely, and I would pay them more if they had more skills. So definitely, I would say increasing your skills will give you more options, and you'll be more employable, and you'll get paid better too in most circumstances. So Tristan's agreeing, saying if you can operate everything, you're all set. You'll get work very, very quickly. Somebody wrote here something. Where was it? I missed something before. Khan is asking, what's your opinion on the Yanmar SV100? I'm gathering that's a 10 tonner, yeah, the SV100. I haven't used an SV100. I like the look of them. I've seen a lot of plumbers in the area use the SV100s. I gather that's because it's sort of a machine they can still load up on the back of their trucks, almost like a 5 or a 8 tonner, but not too big. It's not like a 14 tonner or something. So I do notice a lot of the plumbers use the SV100s, and there must be a reason. I think they must be good. I see a lot of the burgundy ones around lately. So I think they're probably a good machine. Like the 5 tonner is a decent machine. So I'd say it probably would be, yeah. Yeah, Tristan's saying it's basically an 8 tonner but longer reach, yeah. So I do see a lot of guys, I see a lot of plumbers actually using those. So there must be a reason. What have we got? It's just on 1 hour. So I probably should be wrapping this up. But I'm happy to keep talking if you want. So I cut my one a lot shorter last week while I was in Brisbane. So I did come to you live from Brisbane while I was there last week. And I had the background from the hotel room. I had the bridge and the Brisbane River in the background. So, but it only was a really, really short session. I'm happy to go for another couple of minutes. But if everyone's done, I can cut it short. Here we go. So Khan is saying, yeah, we use it for board piers. It's good to operate, but not comfortable at all. There you go. Yeah, that I do. I see a lot of the residential guys using them. So the plumbers and obviously the board pier guys. So yeah, I suppose having that bit more power. Like I used to do a lot of board piers for the slabs, for all the waffles, and in the 5 tonner, it just almost lacked a little bit of power. So I notice a lot of the guys now use 8 tonners. Just to get that little bit of extra power in the pumps to drive the augers into the ground quicker and to get through the rock easier. So yeah. Okay, so thank you very, very much for joining me tonight, guys. Once again, thank you to all my sponsors. I won't name them all again. There's more and more nowadays. Make sure that you go to Earthworks Hub if you need any information. I've got some good links on there, or useful links I call them. So there's a lot of useful links on there for like the National Heavy Vehicle Regulator, WorkSafe, Are You OK, Dial Before You Dig. So there's a few good useful links on there. You've also got a whole range of people that have listed their businesses on there. So now TerraPro Earthworks is actually listed on as well. So thank you to TerraPro. I really appreciate you all coming on. Thank you to Touring Civil for coming up with tonight's topic, which was about what software or how do we manage all of our small business little functions, like your payroll and your machines and assigning jobs and that. So thank you to Touring for that recommendation. Hopefully I answered all your questions in that topic as well. And thank you to all the people that I visited this week. It was really, really good to get to meet a lot of guys up in Brisbane. So I'm sure we're going to be all talking and keeping in touch. And thank you to the guys that had me there. So Spartan Machinery, Digger Australia, thank you very much as well. Thank you to Bris Vegas for a lovely day as well. And anyone else that I missed, thank you so much for being on here, guys. I am Earthworks Hub, the only hub that your missus wants you to be watching. Make sure you share the share of this, subscribe, like, all that sort of stuff on all my socials. Spread the word, become one of the Facebook group members, and I will see you guys on the next episode. Thanks for listening.